Magnus just won his game against Mukesh. And Magnus, how was the game?
The game was quite interesting. My first impression from seeing the starting position was that it was not a particularly dangerous one for Black. So I was quite happy to see that. I thought we'd probably have a fairly quiet strategic position. Yeah, I was already thinking when he played number 4 that he might win a castle kingside at some point, and now his king is a little bit weaker. So, but of course it's all like pretty normal. So I think this was nice, just preparing the.
Knight at 6 was really. I think you wanted to play in the bishop.
Yeah, just preparing the exchange. So I feel like all of these moves are quite reasonable. Yeah, I saw that the engine didn't like this, but I mean d4 at d4 95. Yeah, we'd probably find this in a classical game in rapids. Queen e2 is very natural, but now I already felt like I had some initiative here. If he takes this, like a rook e8, and then I can castle later on. His king feels pretty exposed. So yeah, this was all quite normal, but yeah, I expected d4. Like, okay, I was briefly hoping that he might not play because then break position. But my intention was just to take like this, e5, castles. Then I don't know. I lost heart a little bit. I didn't really believe in that position too much. I thought maybe it's easier for white to play. So I decided just to play it really safe. Yeah, obviously I haven't seen queen hits. That was a bit too difficult for me. And also, yeah, I don't know. I thought this was alright, rook e8. Yeah, I feel.
You think white is?
Yeah, maybe white is objective like very slightly better, but it might have this concrete asset without the possible, which means that I think in practical terms it's pretty good. So I think what he did here was quite normal, but here I think the sensible thing to do is to do something like this. Actually if I try to do something, I'm a little bit worse here, so I would probably go for this in 96. But even here, just trade the moves.
He played overpress, or you think he misplaced his pieces?
Yeah, maybe Mukesh is always very ambitious. He's trying to win spot. Here, I should go. But here, yeah, we trade. Because I have this protected pass pawn that if it breaks free, I'm just gonna win. So that always made the position a little bit more difficult for him. The time situation as well, like as soon as the choices became called.
Lastly, Magnus now, maybe it's very likely that you might face Hikaru.
Regardless, I would have yesterday. I think he could have been in some trouble today, but yeah, the way it happened, he's playing quite well, and it's going to be a tough opponent.
Thank you, Magnus.
And today also, I mean, you had mentioned that you're looking forward to play with Mukesh. So finally it concluded. How was it like?
Yeah, it was interesting enough. He's, as always, like, he's playing ambitious, very concrete chess, and yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the fact that he made seven balls, is that it? It's been crazy, like, considering the positions that he had, and when he was in the the way they all seemed to have been so good. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a great time.
Thank you, Magnus.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Guys, Magnus Carlsen joining us and showing us his beautiful win against Mukesh, the endgame grind, for which he's so well known, and he did that. And we have 8 players now, Amruta, and recording, Amruta? We had almost 40,000 people watching. Yeah.
Insane. The impressive freestyle. I mean, it's really amazing. Good day.
Guys, now we have seen 2 days of freestyle. तो जरा बताओ ना कि कैसा रहा?
Standings have come, guys. Final standings just to quickly show you.
इतना excitement मैंने मेरे
it's been tough. It's really difficult to play this format. I feel like I was in time trouble in a lot of games, and I was rarely in control at all. But it's of course it's nice to win a couple of games. I didn't feel like I played particularly better today than I did yesterday. I felt yesterday, as we see the beautiful position on the board.
Sorry about that.
No, that's alright. Sidarov outplayed me. Fabi outplayed me. Mainly it was just one moment where he had seen obviously a lot deeper than I had. The thing my blunder against Fedoshev was inexcusable, but apart from that, I didn't feel that I was feeling alright, and I didn't feel like I played particularly badly. Of course, today there was one game where I was completely outplayed against Alreza, but the other ones, I think I played alright.
Yeah, and does it ever creep in, kind of that doubt after starting kind of not at your usual level? Yesterday, I mean, you did start with a win against Hikaru, but after that it was a bit shaky, and you were, I guess, just above the danger zone heading into today's play. Did that ever cross your mind that things might get a bit hairy there?
No, of course I was hoping to be further ahead, but the thing about freestyle is you cannot really game plan for these things because it's too hard simply.
You literally have to freestyle.
So you really just have to go out there and try and win. So I wasn't thrilled obviously, but I wasn't really worried per se that I was gonna get in trouble. Honestly, nothing really happened. Like the two guys who were in last place before today, they were eliminated. I was in 4th. I guess Hikaru was in 5th or 6th. We're still there. Top 3 guys are still the same. So the scores got a lot tighter, but the placings really didn't.
And I mean, you mentioned the 2 players who were eliminated, Levon Aroni and Vladimir Fedoseev. Are you surprised by that at all? 2 players who I would say, pretty suited for this format.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Fedoseev didn't do better. Obviously, Levon had some very inspired moments last year as well. He would certainly have hoped to do better, but it seemed that he was just not on his game at all, and that's unfortunate for him, of course, but yeah, for him it was just never close.
And I have to ask about the game with Gukesh. We were following it a lot. I think the whole chess world probably following it. First game against him since he'd become world champion. Did you approach it differently? How do you feel it went? Were you surprised as well?
Yeah, I was. I think the game was very decent for a long time. I was very happy to get in this counter strike in the center with e4, e5. I thought like my queen is controlling the diagonal. I always have these tricks with going rook e8 and then long castling, and it felt like his position was a bit shaky. Then I'd seen that he could play d4, but I was like 1, hoping maybe he wouldn't play it, 2, hoping that I would find something, and I checked it briefly afterwards. Actually, there is something, but queen e8 to knight b5. That's really difficult to find. So after that, I was a bit disappointed because then the position was just equal, and yeah, honestly, after that, I think it was just a lack of experience on his part, because he just took too many chances, and then when it was time to be a little bit, he was really brave, and then when it was time to be brave again, he retreated. But by the time he retreated, it was very difficult to hold his position in practice, and at that point, I thought my winning chances were great.
Yeah, I mean, some of your recaps on Take during the World Championship match, you mentioned like his clock handling. I mean, he went into an end game when it didn't seem necessary. Those things. Is that what you mean when it comes to inexperience?
No, I think the end game itself was completely fine. Of course, I have this protected pass once, but his pieces are so well placed that he should never really get in trouble. I think it was later, like he could have, for instance, exchanged rooks at some point, which is just a dead draw. At a couple of points, it's a thing we talked about earlier as well. Is that he wasn't really playing by hand. He was trying to do a little bit too much.
He wants to beat you, Magnus. He wants to play.
No, I don't know. I think honestly there was not a single point in the game where it was realistic that he could play for a win. That hasn't stopped him from playing for a win in the past, but I think the practical chances were always with me, especially with the time. And what generally happens there is that when things start going downhill, they just collapse, because as soon as I get my pieces going, this pawn, if not located, is just unstoppable.
Yeah, it was a great game. Go check it out on the Take app. And Magnus, just before I let you go, quarterfinals you mentioned. I'm not sure the pairings have been.
Well, I mean, unless something crazy happens, the 4-5, myself and Hikaru are actually going to be the 4-5. I cannot imagine. I think the other choices are of the Satorov, Gukesh, and Keimer. Like, I could see somebody choosing. I could see like one of them choosing. Yeah, I mean,
you get last pick, right?
No. So the thing is, like, I think that Keimer probably and Gukesh are going to be picked first, and then Satorov or Hikaru. Like, as I think about it, it's not as much of a given fact, but I would not bet any money on me playing somebody else than Hikaru and semifinals. Quarterfinals.
Unless it's a daredevil, yeah. Not kind of picking Hikaru. It does feel counterintuitive. And what are your thoughts? Assuming it is Hikaru ahead of the classical portion of the event.
I think he picked up picked up his game quite a bit today. Yesterday, I think he was quite poor, and he was probably lucky not to be even worse off in the standing. Of course, there were some chances missed as well, as they usually are, but he was quite shaky. Today, it looked quite a bit better, and I was not surprised to see him climb up the standings. And eventually he reached +2, which I did as well. It's not a bad score, but there just happened to be three guys who scored a lot of points very early, and we're just cruising. So he is very, very strong, and very tough opponent. I think I'm going to be in probably the tough round of the bracket as well, but I managed to do it last year, so why not this year as well?
You're looking forward to having more time on the clock, first of all.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to having time on the clock. I love delving deeply into the positions from the start, but when you're playing this fast rapid, at some point you just have to start blitzing, and then it's difficult, but classical time control is going to be awesome.
Magnus, it's been a long couple of days for you. Congratulations on getting to the quarterfinals, and best of luck for the rest of the event.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Hikaru Nakamura, who's just finished the second day of action here at Weissenhaus. Hikaru, it's been 2 long days of rapid freestyle chess. What are your first impressions? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I think yesterday I did not play particularly well. I was trying to get into the rhythm, but I think every game I played, at some point I was losing, maybe even winning at some point in every game as well. So I was very choppy, but I think today I really stabilized, and I just played simple chess for the most part, and good things seemed to happen.
Yeah, And I mean, you mentioned yesterday it started off against Magnus, but you kind of stabilized at some point. You found your way back in. Kind of heading into today, you weren't quite safe. You were on 2 points, I believe. Did you have a specific strategy in mind?
Well, I mean, I think the first things first is the Magnus game, honestly. I think it epitomizes why it's very, very tough to play. I mean, I would say impossible, frankly, if you want a high-quality game in Fischer Random, in Rapid or Blitz, just because that was a game where time played a huge role. There were a couple of moments in the game where Magnus played some moves that were a little bit dubious, but I was low on the clock and I couldn't capitalize or even save the game. And I think that really symbolizes why I don't really like the format. I don't think players should be eliminated based off of Rapid or Blitz in general. But then, yeah, I think today, you know, the main thing was I had what I would say were slightly easier pairings. I didn't have to play Magnus. I didn't have to play Ali Reza. Maybe Fabiano, of course. I mean, he is very dangerous. But overall, I thought the pairings were a little bit softer today. And you know, the good thing is, since it is top 8 who move on, you know, finishing, you know, with only 2 players being eliminated, if I can't make it to the top 8, I mean, that's really my own fault. So I felt pretty good, and I think I played much more simplistic chess, especially after the first one against Sidorov. Just played simple and tried to keep it relatively easy to play, where I didn't have to spend a lot of time, and it paid huge dividends, especially in the last 2 games, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you mentioned the time format for, I mean, Fischer Random freestyle chess here, because I was speaking to Levon last night, and he was playing some blitz games with Fedoseev. They were trying to play themselves into form. They were playing against each other. And I was like, wait, why are you guys playing kind of normal chess? Surely you should be playing blitz, kind of Fischer Random. But they were like, no, there's just no point, right?
Well, I mean, I tried that yesterday, and I mean, that's not necessarily an excuse, but I think the fact that I tried to play 3+1 a bunch before the event started was very bad, because actually I tried to play normally, like just focus on the opening, go down a little bit of time, and then somewhere around like the 7th or 8th game that I was playing, I think it was against like Buddy Pranav and maybe then Theodoro as well, I just started playing fast and not caring about the opening, and then it went really downhill. So I tried that yesterday, and I think it didn't work. I played a little bit of regular blitz this morning, actually, so I don't think there's a good way to approach it. That kind of symbolizes why I'm not a big fan of the quicker format. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it's also kind of weird, because I was having a conversation with Peter Heine at breakfast, and I was sort of saying how it's kind of weird because you don't know what to do. On the one hand, it's nice to not have to prepare, but at the same time, I mean, every single one of us has spent, I mean, okay, Gukesh is young, but the older guard, at least, like you look at Fabiano, Magnus, myself, and Levon, we've spent at least 20 years going to tournaments. You spend a couple of hours, I mean, whether it's at night or morning, whatever, you spend a few hours before the game preparing. And it's very strange not to do that, and then you also don't know how you're supposed to prepare. So I think my big takeaway is that playing too much before is not good, and also I think you have to come in fresh. That's the most important thing. And when you see a bunch of positions like I did yesterday with the knights on the edge or knights in the middle, it all kind of becomes whatever and very blah. So I think it's just you have to be fresh, and that's why I think it's not worth it to really spend much time preparing.
So you didn't spend too much time doing specific kind of training for this event, looking at kind of patterns, looking at ideas?
No, I mean, I think it's very hard to do that. There was a conversation last night where I think Fabiano was like Fabiano, Ali Reza, and myself, and Fabiano was essentially saying that if you spend 2 hours, not 2 hours, sorry, if you basically play like four rapid games every day for 2 years, you can probably memorize all the starting positions. And Ali Reza definitely didn't believe that. I certainly don't believe that. So unless someone has some magic way of like basically your mind coding it where you can remember the specific piece placement, I don't think it's realistic, and I think it's counterproductive if anything, because then when you get to the board, like even with Fabiano when we were analyzing some positions, it looks familiar to something you've seen, but you really don't know. It's like, is it bishop on G1? Is it on like E1? You know, some of the pieces are the same, but then you can't remember the rest. Yeah, so I don't think there's a huge benefit. Also, I mean, when I played Magnus in 2018 in Norway, we played a match. For that one, I think we were given something like 30 minutes or 45 minutes before each game where we could consult with a computer program or a second. And I remember very distinctly that in basically every game, I prepared some lineup to like move 3. Or not move 3, to like move 5 or move 6. Like I would play the best moves, of course. You look at what the computer says, and then I was already out of prep anyway on move 3 because Magnus or I did something different that we weren't ready for. So even with the benefit of trying to prepare, it didn't really work out. So I don't think there's much benefit. I think it comes down to who comes up with the best opening plan. I will say, however, that looking at all the players here, it seems to me that Fabiano is probably the player who has put in the most time in terms of preparation. He seems to have a pretty good grasp on what the ideas are. So if anyone's impressed me, it's Fabiano.
Okay, and I'll let you go because it's been a long couple of days. But final quick question: anyone you want to play in the quarterfinals? Anyone you want to avoid?
I mean, apparently I'm playing Magnus, which is that's what I was told. I don't know if that's the case. Again, I also don't know because I think maybe one or two players pick the numbers. I actually don't know, but I was told that I play Magnus, so that'll be fun. I think that in general, I don't really care who I play. I'm just happy that it's going to be slow chess where I have time to think. I mean, the fact that I can spend time to think means that, I shouldn't make some huge blunder and lose a game unnecessarily. So if I get outplayed, I get outplayed, but it's going to be fun no matter what.
Hikaru, best of luck in the quarters, whoever you play.
Thank you.
Thank you.
X and O video.